What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing our 1 through 12 receivers. So this is going to be the second part to our 24 to 13.
So these are all our wide receiver ones. These are all the elite wide receivers.
These are the best
football.
of the best.
Who wants to get into it first? Number 12.
So number 12, he was already kind of brought up in the last video, and his name is one Keenan Allen. He was very close to being number 13. He was being close to number 12, and I threw him at the number 12 spot because I felt like the Chargers offense is well enough to spread the love all around, that Keenan Allen should still be getting his targets.
I think that's a great number 12. I had him at 13 in our last video. Mm-hmm. My number 12 is actually the guy who I believe he was your guys' number 13 in last video, and it's T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. So we saw huge leaps and bounds of improvement for T. Higgins throughout last season, and I think he's going to continue to build off that this season. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow obviously has come into his own. Jamar Chase, obviously, he's a little bit later on this video, but we'll get to him later.
Oh yeah, he's high up there.
But
Higgins,
very high. T. Higgins, I think he's going to continue, and I think he's going to break into that wide receiver one echelon this year. Yeah. Last year, he had some really big games. He was kind of some inconsistencies throughout there, but I think this year they're going to put it all together. And one huge thing to me about this offense and this trio specifically is that these three are all super young players, and they're all going to be developing together and getting better together. And so I'm really big on T. Higgins this year.
I had Deontay Johnson at number 12. If I remember correctly, I didn't have him on my previous list. I mean, if I can go back, I would change a lot of things about my last list. But the thing I like about Deontay Johnson is that new quarterback, younger arm, no more Juju Smith-Schuster on the team as well. That's going to be some targets right there.
Mm-hmm. The quarterback play looked maybe a little shoddy.
You don't say.
And here's my only worry, is that Deontay Johnson was sort of turned into like a Terry McLaurin type. Yeah. He's a baller. Yeah. But his quarterback play is just stinky. Yeah. And it's like, you can't really blame that on the receiver because if you have a terrible quarterback, no wide receiver or tight end is going to do that great.
So I'll get into my number 11, and my number 11 is Michael Pymon Jr. I'm expecting a big jump from him this season. He already had a big jump last year. I think he's going to continue to build on that. I want to say this is his third season. He's still developing as a player. His offense is getting better. Just got a brand new quarterback with Matt Ryan. So it's not a huge upgrade, but Matt Ryan,
it's an upgrade.
I think he's coming out there with something to prove.
It's an upgrade nonetheless.
Yeah. And
Matt Ryan is a pure passer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I trust Matt Ryan more than Wentz.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season, Michael Pittman was phenomenal. And this season, I mean, the guy is an animal. The guy is a beast.
He is. My number 11 is also Michael Pittman. Okay. There's not a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of receivers or tight ends on the Colts that make me think, oh yeah, they're going to be stealing Pittman's targets because, they have young guys and they have people who could come out and take a step forward, but I don't think any single one of them is going to be as close to Michael Pittman. So shall we get into number 10?
Did you do your... Oh, yeah. Number 10.
So my number 10 is C.D. Lamb.
Okay. I also have C.D. Lamb in my number 10 position. So with C.D. Lamb, I would say Dak Prescott is probably the most overhated player in the NFL.
Agreed. In
my opinion. I think a lot of the criticism he gets isn't really warranted for him. I feel like just because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys, he gets that. But anyways, back to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, obviously, still a young player. I believe he's also a third-year player.
Yeah.
With the subtraction of Amari Cooper, I could see his role being... He'll get more targeted. His job will probably be a little bit more difficult now, though, because there's going to be a lot more attention on him. And so I think for CeeDee Lamb, I think he's just going to basically continue what he was doing last year. He might have some inconsistent games here and there.
Yeah, I can definitely see him having a few inconsistent games.
But that's the wide receiver position, bro. That's the wide receiver position. With the wide receiver position, you're going to get inconsistent games unless you have the top guys.
I have this guy 10. I would have him a spot lower, but due to circumstances, I got to put him higher. And that's Keenan Allen. And You know, I felt like at the beginning of this video and at the end of the last video, they kind of just went in on Keenan. But I look at Keenan and I look at a guy who's consistently going to give you double-digit points every game. I mean, the guy only had like 2 bad games or mediocre games last season. But I got Keenan on there because Keenan, in my opinion, is one of the most consistent receivers in fantasy if you need that anchor.
When I was talking about Keenan Allen on last episode, by the way, if you didn't see that, make sure you go check that out after this episode.
Shout it out.
When I was talking about Keenan Allen, in no way was I trying to discredit Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is a phenomenal football player. He's a phenomenal wide receiver. I just feel like for this, a lot of these options, if you look at our list so far, these are all young players who are ascending in their young NFL careers. And last year he finished as a wide receiver 13, and my point basically was that I could see these guys ascending over Keenan Allen and Keenan Allen kind of staying where he is.
Staying where he's at, No, so, I agree. Keenan is at his peak right now. We're going to number 9 now?
Yeah, number 9.
Number 9.
I had one Mike Evans at number 9.
Okay, I also had one Mike Evans.
Yeah, I can see him being higher after this year.
I think he's going to show consistency with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Chris Godwin and his injury.
Right, that is well.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the new head coach. I feel like it's going to stay more or less kind of sticking to what they were doing already.
Yeah, you could say that.
But Mike Evans, we obviously know he's a great, like, he has hands, bro.
He does.
Yes,
Mike
he
Evans
does.
has hands.
He does.
I think 9 is the perfect spot for Mike Evans,
I
in my personal opinion.
Close to this. My 9 is A.J. Brown.
Okay.
A.J. Brown recently got traded to the Eagles. A.J. Brown, he's very, very explosive. Some of these other guys are consistent. Some of these guys are good route runners. But A.J. Brown is purely explosive when it comes to his sort of game. And that's what makes A.J. Brown A.J. Brown. And with Jalen Hurts, do I worry about Jalen Hurts passing?
Right.
A smidge. A little bit. You know, it's a little bit of a worry of mine.
Yes.
But it's not making me put the red flag and be like, okay, well, don't draft A.J. Brown, because I disagree with that statement heavily. I like A.J. Brown as a player. Will it be, do I feel like he'll have inconsistent games? Absolutely.
Yeah. Do we put that on the quarterback play, though?
I'd put it more towards the Eagles had the most rushing yards last year.
That's true.
As a team, they had the most rushing yards.
Yeah.
He was your number 9, right?
Yeah, my number 9.
Okay, so we've already gone over our number 9s. My number 8 is A.J. Brown, so we'll just continue our conversation.
Yeah.
A.J. Brown, I love this fit on the Eagles because the Eagles have been trying to draft a wide receiver for years now, and they've been missing every single time. The Eagles are making moves in their offense, and I really do like that. And I think A.J. Brown is a match made in heaven on this Eagles offense right now because he's one of those guys where you can literally throw him a 7-yard pass, and the man's going to take it 60 yards for a touchdown, bro.
He's explosive.
He has that kind of big playability that not many wide receivers have. Who did you have at 8?
I had CeeDee Lamb at number 8. Okay. And we talked about CeeDee Lamb earlier. We talked about the positives, and I think you're going to see more of the positives than the negatives with CeeDee Lamb. More targets, bad division, turns into a shootout. I just think the positives are going to outweigh the negatives with CeeDee Lamb. That's why I have him higher.
I agree. For my number 8, it's Tyree Kill.
Okay.
It seems like you guys have Tyree Kill a little bit higher than me.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I have him 1 spot higher. Who do you have at 7?
This is my Mike Evans spot right here at number 7.
All right.
My 7 was Stephon Diggs.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's pretty much, to me, it's just going to be continuing what he's been doing for the last 2 seasons on the Bills.
Yeah.
We know what Stephon Diggs does. We know what the Bills do. They like to sling the football around.
Yes, indeed.
They're one of the best offenses in football, and Stephon Diggs is pretty much the main weapon on that offense.
Yeah.
Pretty much without a doubt. He's just going to continue to be absolutely phenomenal for fantasy. Super consistent. There's not really much for me to say about Stephon Diggs. I pretty much just believe he's going to continue what he's been doing. There's not really any question marks. There's not really any changes in his situation really at all. And so he's just going to continue his great play.
My 7 was Tyreek Hill. I think with his big play ability, his ability to make things happen in open space, maybe not have like the monster games that he had last year where he can go out and get you a 40 piece.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to see several more 25 to 30 point games. You know, catching passes on bubble screens, slant routes, and then him just turning it upfield for a lot of yards after catch and making big plays happen.
You guys all gave your 7, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll continue on this conversation. Again, my 6 is Tyree Kill.
Okay.
This offense has been built to make Tua's job easier.
Yes.
Make easy reads, get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. You have speedy receivers. You have speedy running backs in Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. Yep. You have a great tight end in Mike Gesicki. Just make Tua's job easy. Get the ball in the hands of your guys and let them do the work from there. Every once in a while, Tua's going to have to kind of pump his arm back and throw it deep, but it's going to be – this is going to be made simple and easy for Tua, just how it was for Jimmy Garoppolo on the 49ers.
Yeah. So my number 6 is Stephon Diggs. Like Sterling was saying, Stephon Diggs is one of those guys. He's comfortable in his role. He's comfortable with his quarterback. And Josh Allen he has the case for the best quarterback in the league right now. And with Stephon Diggs, is when you have such a skilled playmaker like Josh Allen, your life comes easy because all of the focus is, oh crap, is Josh Allen going to do this? And then, you're able to build off of that. And you use like deception. You use Gabriel Davis. Make him run super far down the field and pull everybody back. And then you have Stephon Diggs on, an in route. And guess what? Stephon Diggs catches the ball 15 yards after catch. Great player.
Great player.
I had Devontae at number 6. I can't put him any lower. If anything, you can put him higher. We know what Devontae brings to the table. He's one of the best in the game. He's very consistent. It's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts to the new system and how the people around him elevate him as well. If Darren Waller can stay on the field, if Hunter Renfrow can replicate what he did last year. Those are the only question marks I have that are keeping him lower. But if anything, he can go up.
Yeah. He's higher.
And I can understand if you have him higher.
All right, number 5. I'll get into my number 5. My number 5 is Debo Samuel.
Okay.
Mine as well.
Okay.
And he's a phenomenal player, one of the most versatile players in the league. Super quick on his feet, super quick cuts. He's a great route runner. When he has the ball in his hands, the man is it's really hard to bring him down, bro.
Yes.
It's really hard.
Yes.
And so we'll see what happens with their quarterback situation. It's been looking like Trey Lance is going to be the starter.
So that's all our number. Oh, we're on 5.
We're on 5.
Oh, you had 5. I had Stephon at 5. We already talked about Stephon Diggs. I have him above Devontae because Josh Allen is amongst one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and that helps him, and he doesn't really miss a lot of time. So, he's very reliable. So we kind of went in depth with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And I just think those positives are what put him higher on my list. But I can easily have Devontae over him by the time the season's over, for sure.
And my number 4 is Devonta Adams.
Okay.
You kind of already said everything that needs to be said about Devonta Adams. We know the player he is. He's coming into a new situation where we'll see how it unfolds. There could be some question marks. Nonetheless, Devonta Adams is a great player, and him being this high and being on a new team just shows how good of a player he is.
What his ceiling is. Your 4?
My number 4 was Justin Jefferson.
He is my number 4 as well.
Big JJ. Kirk Cousins.
First Cousins.
Great football guy, as they say.
Great football guy.
He's one of the most inconsistent quarterbacks I think I've ever seen in my life, bro. Yes. That's my only thing.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, very, 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 very inconsistent.
And that does not help.
And that does not help Justin Jefferson.
Help Justin Jefferson,
that's the reason why I had another player over him is because the quarterback is a lot less inconsistent.
Yeah.
But, that goes unsaid for Justin Jefferson because he's a great wide receiver.
Yeah.
They don't call him Jettas for nothing. He's fast as crap.
For nothing, yeah.
He's one of the fastest players. Like, he's up there with, like, a Tyree Kill, dude, when it comes to his speed. He is that fast. And a lot of the times, the plays that you see him make, it's, like, shorter routes, but he's able to, like, sidestep a defender, and then he's off to the races. And that's what makes him special. It's like, he doesn't need Kirk Cousins to make a 30, 40-yard pass down the field in order for him to make his yards.
Wait, we're on 3 now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I had Debo 3. I had him higher than you guys had placed him. I just really like the rushing upside with Debo Samuel and his ability to make plays in open field. his chances of having big games on a consistent basis are higher than some of the other guys on the list who can do what he does.
Yeah.
So that's why I had him number 3. I can understand if you have him a little lower, though.
So my number 3, to me, my 2 and 3 are super interchangeable.
Okay.
I went back and forth with this for a long time. This was by far my hardest choice of the list, but my number 3 is Ja'Marr Chase. Ja'Marr Chase, obviously, we know he had a phenomenal season last year. He finished as, of all rookie wide receivers, he has had the second most points of all time for fantasy purposes, only behind Randy Moss. So obviously that's elite company. That's super high praise. He's only going to be getting better from here. His quarterback and his team are only going to be getting better from here. And they made it to the Super Bowl.
Like that.
They made it to the Super Bowl.
That's insane.
They made it to
and
the
on
Super
paper,
Bowl.
they're only getting better.
With that offensive line. I mean, it got better this offseason, but still, with 5 pylons at offensive line.
Facts. For my number 3, I had Devonta Adams at number 3. I put him over Justin Jefferson because, like I was saying, I think Derek Carr is more consistent than Kirk Cousins on a daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
I like Devontae. You guys had a few question marks, but I think, personally, I feel like there's more positives to this situation than negatives. And then Darren Waller is, he's Darren Waller. He commands so much attention.
Well, he might not be commanding as much anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so the safety is like, oh, okay, I'm going to go play Devontae.
Yeah.
And then Darren Waller comes.
Yeah.
And then the next play, they're like, the safety's like, well, it looks like he's probably going to hit Waller again.
Yeah.
And then there's Devontae. There's also a lot of positives in this situation. So, number 2, Cameron.
Mine was Ja'Marr Chase. I had Ja'Marr Chase at number 2. I think we already discussed it.
As do I.
The ceiling for him is so high.
Yeah.
There's really one guy that I can't put him over, and I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, we know who that guy is.
Yes.
So my number 2 is Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
So this is a guy who did defeat sophomore slump.
He did.
Yes, he did.
He had one of the best sophomore seasons we've seen in a while for a wide receiver. And so I have him this high. You guys were bashing Kirk Cousins, and though I do agree Kirk Cousins could be a lot better.
Yeah.
And obviously he I feel like you guys aren't giving him enough credit. Now, obviously, I'm not saying he's a great quarterback, but he's
Cousins?
literally like the 16th or 17th best quarterback in the NFL. Oof. And you guys are looking at the, what's it called? You're looking at Kirk Cousins and his mishaps and his underperformances, but the results of Justin Jefferson
are there.
Do not reflect Kirk Cousins' performances. Justin Jefferson is quarterback proof.
Yeah.
And we've seen that with certain wide receivers here and there. Justin Jefferson, he was a top elite wide receiver last year in his second NFL season, and that's only going to continue from here. And Kirk Cousins not being an elite quarterback has not so far affected Justin Jefferson's fantasy performances.
Tier quarterback.
Did you pull up where he finished last year?
If he did have that top tier quarterback, no doubt he'd be in the top 3 for us.
Dude, he'd be top 2. He finished number 4.
Okay. So Debo and Devante finished above him. Do I think they're going to finish above him this year? I would say I don't think so.
Yeah, that's If you had to bet,
Chase. I can see Ja'Marr Chase finishing above him, but these other guys, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Number 1.
I mean,
this is unanimous. There's not really any debate.
There's no debate. It's not even close.
One Cooper Kupp.
One Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
So I guess we'll go into Cooper Kupp really fast.
Yeah.
He's a target machine. He's a yardage machine. He's a everything machine. Bro. The man is the Rams' offense.
He is. He just is.
So
his archetype in 2K is freaking all around playmaker.
Yeah.
Like realistic
in 2K. Yeah. All around playmaker.
Yeah. But anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.
This was a long one.
This
was a long one.
Hopefully this camera captured all of it. But anyways, thank you guys so much. We had a phenomenal time doing this video.
Go down.
Go down.
Like,
if for some reason
subscribe.
you watched this one before 13 through 24, go check that one out too. That one's up on the channel.
Yes.
We got a bunch more bangers coming for you guys. But you guys have a phenomenal day. We're out of here.